The Galactic Council had decided long ago humans were weak. They were ranked low on every chart. Low strength, low technology, low lifespan, low intelligence compared to elder races. When humanity first reached the stars, the council laughed. In private halls and polite silence followed in public. Humans were allowed space travel, but only in small zones. No heavy weapons, no large fleets, no military expansion. They were not seen as a threat. On the distant world of Virix Prime, rows of alien commanders sat in perfect order. Their skin was pale blue, their eyes long and dark, their bodies tall and thin. They were the Carvalan ancient species known for war and conquest. Their empire had crushed dozens of civilizations. A glowing sphere floated above the center of the chamber, showing a rotating image of Earth. The Carval Supreme Strategist spoke calmly. Humans have no defense fleets near this sector. Their colonies are scattered. Their biology is fragile. This war will be over before they understand it has begun. The council agreed. The invasion order was signed. Far away, on a small human outpost called Haven 12. No one knew what was coming. Haven 12 was quiet. Too quiet. The station floated near a blue star, home to scientists, engineers, and families. Children played in the halls. Traders moved cargo. Life felt normal. Commander Elias Kane stood near the observation window, looking at space. He was human, average height, dark uniform. No metals that mattered to the galaxy, but he had seen war. His ship, the Atlas, was docked nearby. Old by galactic standards, human-made, simple design, strong hull. Nothing impressive to alien eyes. An alarm suddenly cut through the station. Red lights flashed. Unknown ships detected. Kane turned fast. His voice was calm, but sharp. How many? The sensor officer swallowed. Too many to count. Carval War Fleet. Panic spread. The Carval did not attack without reason. When they came, they erased worlds. Civilian ships tried to flee. Most were destroyed in seconds. The sky outside burned with blue fire as alien weapons struck the station. Kane made a decision. Evacuate who you can. Atlas is leaving. Someone shouted, "Sir, we can't fight." Then, Kane looked at the burning station. We don't need to win. We need to survive. The Atlas launched into chaos. Carval fighters moved like shadows, fast, silent, deadly. The Atlas was hit once, twice, but it's thick human. Hull held. Kane ordered something the aliens did not expect. All power to engines. Overdrive. The engineer hesitated. That will tear the ship apart. Do it. The Atlas surged forward. Engines screaming. Human ships were not fast, but they were built to be pushed beyond limits. The Atlas vanished into jump space. Behind them, Haven 12 died. The Carval considered it a small victory. They were wrong. The Atlas arrived at Earth 3 days later, damaged but alive. Earth's Defense Command listened in silence as Kane delivered his report. An emergency council was called. Human leaders knew the truth now. The galaxy had decided to remove them. There was no panic. There was no begging. There was only silence, and then action, across Earth and its colonies. Hidden doors opened. Old shipyards powered up. Factories that had been silent for decades came alive. Weapons long banned by galactic law were taken out of storage. Humans had followed the rules. They had pretended to be weak, not because they were, but because they were patient. In deep space, far from alien sensors, massive human fleets began to move. The Carval attacked human colonies one by one. They met little resistance at first, just as expected, but something felt wrong. Human ships did not flee in fear. They fought back, not with superior weapons, but with strange tactics. Human pilots flew directly into enemy fire, using their ships as shields for evacuation vessels. Human ground forces kept fighting even after losing communications, even after being surrounded. They did not retreat when logic said they should. They did not surrender when defeat was certain. The Carval started to notice something disturbing. Human soldiers kept standing up after injuries that would kill other species. Human commanders changed plans in seconds, adapting faster than AI predictions. Human ships, once damaged, returned again, repaired, upgraded stronger. A Carval officer spoke during a battle briefing. These humans fight like they expect to lose, but refuse to accept it. Another replied, they are irrational. The truth was simpler. Humans were emotional. They fought for families, for home, for each other. Commander Kane stood on the bridge of the Atlas once more. now repaired and armed. He looked at the stars where Havenwell once existed. This time, he said quietly, "We don't run." Far away, the Galactic Council received reports, unexpected losses, unpredictable human resistance. The weakest species was not breaking, it was learning, and the war had only just begun. The Carvel fleet expected fear. Instead, they found resistance. Across 3 human colonies, battles erupted without warning. Human ships appeared from hidden routes, attacking supply lines instead of main fleets. They did not fight fair. They did not fight clean. They fought to survive. On the bridge of the Atlas, Commander Elias Kane studied the holographic map. Red dots marked enemy ships, blue dots marked humans. The numbers did not favor humanity. Never had. Enemy carriers are moving toward Colony Arden, the tactical officer said. If they reach orbit, the planet is lost. Kane nodded slowly. Then we don't let them reach orbit. Someone hesitated. Sir, we are outnumbered 5 to 1. Kane's voice stayed calm. Then we split them. The Atlas jumped first. Human ships followed in scattered groups, not as a single fleet. To the Carvel, it looked disorganized, weak, desperate. That was the mistake. Human ships hit from multiple angles, targeting engines, sensors, and communication rays. They ignored shields and went for exposed systems. Some ships ran directly into larger enemies, sacrificing themselves to disable massive carriers. The Carvel had never seen this kind of warfare. Their doctrine was simple: preserve ships, preserve order, retreat when losses grow. Humans did not retreat. They adapted mid-battle. When lasers failed, they switched to kinetic weapons. When comms were jammed, pilots acted on instinct. When ships were crippled, crews stayed aboard and turned them into explosives. The space around Arden became a graveyard. A Carvel warlord watched the battle feed in silence. This should not be possible, he said. Their technology is inferior. Yes, his advisor replied, uneasy, but their behavior is unstable on Arden's surface. Civilians watched the sky burn. Human defense forces fought with old weapons, outdated armor, and stubborn will. When cities fell, they turned streets into traps. When shields failed, they fought from rubble. Every other invasion delayed saved millions of lives. The Carvel finally secured orbit, but at a cost they did not expect. 3 carriers destroyed, hundreds of fighters lost. Human ships, mostly gone, the warlord reported to the Galactic Council. Humans are more dangerous than predicted. The council dismissed him. All species fight harder when cornered, one elder said. They will break. But something changed in the galaxy. The other species were watching. They saw human fleets losing battles but never collapsing. They saw human colonies falling but not surrendering. They saw something rare: defiance. Back on Earth, underground command centers worked without pause. Scientists, soldiers, and engineers shared one goal: survive. New ships rolled out faster than anyone thought possible. Humans simplified designs. No beauty, no ceremony, only function. Weapons were upgraded using captured alien tech. Armor was reinforced using human alloys known for absorbing damage instead of deflecting it. Humans learned quickly. Commander Kane met with High Command via secure channel. We can't win a straight war, one general said. Not yet. Kane agreed. Then we don't fight straight. Permission was granted. Human fleets vanished again. The Carvel pushed deeper into human space, confident after Arden. That confidence faded fast. Supply ships disappeared. Navigation beacons failed. Entire patrols went silent. Human raiders struck, vanished, and struck again. They attacked. From asteroid belts, nebulae, and even debris fields left from earlier battles. The galaxy had rules. Humans broke them. One Carvel captain finally captured a human pilot alive. The alien leaned close, studying the injured human. Why do you fight? The alien asked. You cannot win. The human smiled through blood. We already are. The Carvel did not understand. But fear began to spread. Human fleets were not powerful. They were relentless. Commander Kane stood aboard a new ship, now the Atlas II, larger, faster, armed with weapons the galaxy had banned centuries ago. He looked at the stars again. This war won't end today, he said to his crew, or tomorrow. They listened, in silence, but the galaxy will remember it. Far away, the Galactic Council received new data. Human resistance was spreading. Casualties were rising. Predictions were failing. One elder finally asked the question no one wanted to hear. What if humans were never weak? No one answered, and in the dark between stars, human fleets prepared something new, something the galaxy had never faced before. The first human counterstrike came, without warning, deep inside Carvel territory. A mining world called Dravos 9 suddenly went silent. No distress call, no warning flare, just darkness. When a Carvel patrol arrived, they found the planet intact but empty. Cities stood untouched, power grids still running, food still warm. The population was gone. Confusion spread fast. Dravos 9 was not a military world. It had no value as a target. Humans should never have reached it, yet they had. On the bridge of the Atlas II, Commander Kane watched the live feed. Human forces were already gone, leaving no trace. Message sent? He asked. Yes, sir, the communications officer replied. Encoded, open channel, all frequencies. Across the sector, the message appeared on Carvel networks. We are not invading. We are responding. The Carvel High Command was furious. This is psychological warfare. One general said, they want to scare us, but fear had already begun to grow. Humans were not holding territory. They were choosing targets. They hit logistics hubs, training centers, data vaults, and shipyards. Always fast, always precise. They avoided civilians when possible, but never slowed down to protect enemy assets. Human commanders studied alien psychology. Carvel valued order and control. Humans attacked chaos points. Every loss hurt more than numbers showed. A captured Carvel officer was brought before human intelligence. You fight without honor, the alien accused. The human interrogator replied calmly, honor doesn't stop extinction. Meanwhile, human soldiers trained harder than ever. Sleep was short. Losses were heavy, but morale did not break, because now humans were no longer reacting. They were hunting on a remote battlefield. A Carvel strike group ambushed what looked like a human refugee convoy. The aliens moved in fast, confident, too confident. The convoy exploded into dozens of combat drones. Human warships emerged from hidden space folds. The trap closed for the first time in centuries. A full Carvel strike group was destroyed. No survivors. That report reached the Galactic Council within hours. Silence filled the chamber. They are learning to fast, one elder whispered. Another replied, in this war now. But the Carvel would not stop. Pride mattered more than survival. They escalated. Planet killers were activated. One was aimed at a human colony world Eos. Eos had no defenses left. Evacuation was incomplete. Millions remain on the surface. Human command received the alert. Commander Kane stood still for a long moment. Then he gave an order no one expected. All fleets converge on Eos. But sir, an officer said, we'll lose everything. Kane looked at the image of the planet. Then we lose it standing. Human fleets jumped in, one after another. Old ships, new ships, damaged ships, anything that could fly. They formed a wall between Eos and the weapon. The Carvel commander laughed when he saw it. They bring scrap to stop a god weapon? The planet killer fired. The blast tore through space. Human ships burned. Dozens vanished. But they did not move. The weapon overheated. Human ships slammed into it at full speed. Boarding teams flooded inside. Soldiers fought in zero gravity, bleeding, burning, refusing to retreat. Inside the weapon core, a human engineer stayed behind, manually triggering overload. The explosion lit the system. Eos survived. Human fleets did not celebrate. They mourned. But something changed forever. Across the galaxy, other species watched. In shock, humans had stood between death and their world. They had sacrificed without hesitation. The Galactic Council finally acted. Emergency session. All species present. The question was no longer about humans being weak. It was about stopping them. One elder spoke quietly. If we continue, we may awaken something we cannot control. But the Carvel sent one final message to humanity. Surrender, or be erased. Commander King responded with a single line. You already tried, and for the first time since the war began, humans prepared not to defend, but to end it. The galaxy expected humans to slow down. They did not. After Eos, human fleets moved with purpose. No random strikes. No scattered attacks. Every action followed a pattern that Carvel could not read. Human command had changed the war. They were no longer fighting to survive. They were fighting to finish. Commander Kane stood in a dark command room on Earth. A massive star map glowed before him. Red marks showed Carvel core systems. "We don't attack all of them," Kane said. "We cut the spine." The plan was dangerous. Human fleets would jump deep into enemy space, farther than ever before. No retreat routes, no backup, only one chance. The target was Carvel Prime, not the capital, the mine. Carvel Prime housed the core nexus, a massive structure that controlled fleet coordination, long-range communication, and strategic AI. Every Carvel ship depended on it. Destroy it, and the Empire would go blind. Human fleets launched in silence, no speeches, no celebrations, just movement. As they crossed into enemy territory, Carvel sensors detected them instantly. Alarms spread across Carvel space. "They're coming straight at us," one commander said in disbelief. "This is suicide." Carvel were fleets mobilized, forming defensive walls around Prime. Thousands of ships, ancient weapons powered up. The humans did not slow down. The first class shattered space. Human ships charged forward, absorbing fire meant to break them. Shields failed, hulls cracked. Still, they pushed. Carvel ships tried to maintain formation. Humans broke it. Small strike teams slipped through gaps, targeting command ships. Human pilots ignored survival instincts, flying closer than safe limits, firing at point-blank range. The battlefield turned chaotic. Without the Nexus guiding them, Carvel, coordination weakened, orders conflicted, fleets collided, retreat commands overlapped with attack signals. Humans exploited every second. Boarding teams reached the outer shell of the core nexus. Inside, it was a maze of alien architecture, cold, silent, endless corridors. Human soldiers moved forward despite injuries, despite loss. They planted charges, hacked systems, and fought. Automated defenses with bare hands when weapons failed. A Carvel AI spoke through the walls. "You cannot win. Probability of failure exceeds 98%. A human soldier replied while bleeding. "We don't need probability." At the heart of the Nexus, Commander Kane arrived with a small team. The core glowed with alien energy. Kane placed the final device. "This will shut everything down," an officer said quietly, "including us." Kane nodded. "Then make it count." Outside, human fleets were being torn apart. Losses mounted, entire squadrons vanished. But they held. The device activated. Across Carvel space, ships froze mid-battle. Communication died. Weapons powered down. Navigation failed. The Empire blinked, and in that moment, humans struck. Everywhere at once, supply depots burned. Shipyards fell. Command centers collapsed. The Carvel had never experienced silence like this. When the core nexus exploded, the shockwave rippled through the system. Human ships jumped out those that could. Many did not return, but the damage was done for the first time in their history. The Carvel Empire was broken, not destroyed, broken. The Galactic Council watched the reports in disbelief. An elder whispered. They attacked the impossible and succeeded, but humans were not done yet, because breaking an empire was one thing, making sure it never rose again was another. The fall of the core nexus shook the galaxy. Carvel fleets drifted without direction. Some powered down, some fired blindly. Others turned on each other, confused by broken command signals. Human fleets did not chase chaos. They controlled it. Across former Carvel space, human forces broadcast a single message. "This war ends now. Stand down and you will live." Many Carvel commanders ignored it. They paid the price. Human strike groups moved system by system, disabling fleets instead of destroying them when possible. Engines were crippled. Weapons were melted. Command ships were boarded and seized. Humans had learned something important. Fear spreads faster than destruction. Carvel worlds began to surrender, not because humans were stronger, but because resistance no longer made sense. On one heavily fortified world, a Carvel general demanded to speak with a human commander. Commander Kane accepted. The alien stood tall, wounded but proud. "You could erase us," the general said. "Why haven't you?" Kane answered simply, "Because we know what that turns us into." The general studied him. "Then what do you want?" "Never attack us again," Kane replied, "and never decide another. Species is weak." The word spread faster than any fleet. Other empires took notice. Old enemies of the Carvel began sharing intelligence with humans. Neutral species opened borders. Some even offered support. The balance of power was shifting. not toward humans ruling the galaxy, but toward humans reshaping it. Still, the war was not over. A final Carvel faction refused to surrender. Fanatics loyal to the old order gathered what remained of their forces. They fled beyond known space, toward a forbidden region the galaxy avoided. The black expanse, sensors, barely worked there. Stars were unstable. Space itself twisted. Human command received the report. If they rebuild there, an officer said, they could return stronger. King knew the truth. They won't stop, he said. Neither can we, against council advice. A human task force entered the expanse. What they found was worse than expected. The Carvel fanatics were activating an ancient weapon. Not theirs. Something older. Something abandoned. A weapon designed to reset civilizations. The device fed on energy, growing stronger with every star it drained. Human scientists confirmed the risk. If it activates, one said, half the galaxy goes dark. Time ran out. Human fleets attacked immediately, but the enemy was desperate now. They fought without concern for loss. The battle was brutal. Human ships were destroyed faster than replacements could arrive. Inside the chaos, Kane realized the truth. They could not destroy the weapon, but they could move it. A plan formed. Risk everything. The Atlas to move straight toward the core of the device. Enemy fire tore into it. Systems failed one by one. The crew stayed. Kane addressed them quietly. You don't have to stay. No one moved. Human engineers rerouted. Power. Pilots held the course. Soldiers defended the bridge with their bodies. With seconds left, the Atlas latched onto the weapon and triggered a force jump. Space tore open. The weapon vanished into the black expanse far beyond safe return. The Atlas was gone. Silence followed. Human fleets withdrew, battered, but alive. The fanatic Carvel were finished. The war was finally ending, but Earth waited. For news, for answers, for Commander Kane, and the galaxy held its breath, wondering what humans had truly become. Earth mourned in silence. Commander Elias Kane was declared lost. Memorials rose across human worlds. His name was carved into steel and stone, not as a hero of victory, but as a symbol of choice. The war slowed. Human fleets pulled back to defensive positions. Borders stabilized. The Carvel Empire no longer existed as a single force. What remained was scattered, broken, and careful. The Galactic Council called for peace talks for the first time. Humans were not seated at the edge of the chamber. They were placed at the center. Alien representatives studied them with open caution now. Not fear, not respect, something deeper. Understanding. A council elder spoke. The war has changed the balance of the galaxy. Humans have power now. What will you do with it? The human delegate answered calmly, protect ourselves, and make sure no one else is judged weak again. Some species welcomed this, others did not, but no one challenged it. Months passed. Human space rebuilt fast, faster than before. Not because of anger, but because humans had learned how close extinction really was. Then, something unexpected happened. A long-range probe returned from the edge of the black expanse. Its data made no sense. Energy readings, human-made signals, and a damaged but active transponder code. Commander Kane's code. At first, Command thought it was an echo, a glitch, false hope. But the signal repeated, weak, fading, real, a rescue. Mission was prepared immediately. Human ships entered the black expanse again, slower this time, carefully mapping unstable space. They found the impossible. The Atlas broken, burned, but not destroyed. It was trapped near a dead star, the ancient weapon drifting far away, inactive and cold. Inside the Atlas life signs were minimal, but present. Kane was alive. Barely. He had survived by doing what humans always did, adapting. The crew had sacrificed systems, power, even parts of the ship to keep a small section alive. Rescue teams pulled them out one by one. When Kane finally woke on Earth, he asked only one question. Did it end? A doctor answered softly, yes. The war is over. Kane closed his eyes, but the galaxy was not at peace yet. News of Kane's survival spread fast. To humans, it was hope. To others, it was a reminder. Humans did not disappear quietly. They returned. Some alien powers began strengthening borders again. Others pushed for new alliances. Fear had not vanished, it had changed shape. The Galactic Council met once more. One elder spoke carefully. We underestimated humans once. We must not do it again. Another replied, or provoke them. Human intelligence intercepted something troubling. Deep space transmissions, unknown origin, watching, learning. The war had exposed the galaxy, not just to humans, but to things older, stronger, waiting. Kane stood again on a command deck, older now, slower but sharp. He looked at the stars. "We showed them we won't break," he said. The crew waited. But the next war, King continued, won't be about survival. He turned. It will be about protection and far beyond known space. Something noticed humanity for the first time, not as weak, not as prey, but as a threat. The warning came too late. The unknown force revealed itself without words, without fleets moving through space in any way the galaxy understood. Entire star systems went dark in silence. No explosions, no debris, just absence. The Galactic Council panicked. Sensors showed the truth. This was not an empire, not a species that thought in ships and borders. It was a presence, older than the Carvel, older than the Council itself. They had been watching the war, learning. Humans were the reason they acted now. Emergency summons went out across the galaxy. Fleets gathered. Alliances formed, but no one knew how to fight something that did not communicate, did not threaten, and did not negotiate. Commander Elias Kane stood before the council one last time. "You're thinking like rulers," he said calmly. "This isn't a war for control." An elder asked. "Then what is it?" Kane answered. "A test." Human scientists had analyzed the vanished systems. The pattern was clear. The presence erased civilizations that expanded without resistance. It ignored those that hid. It watched those that fought back. It was not destroying randomly. It was selecting. The galaxy had always removed the weak. Now something else was doing the same. Kane proposed a plan that stunned everyone. Humans would not hide. They would not attack. They would stand. A single human fleet moved to the edge of the dark zone. No weapons charged. No formations. Just ships holding position. The presence reacted instantly. Space bent. Darkness spread. Human ships began to fail. Still, they stayed. No retreat order came. Inside the fleet, crews prepared for death. Messages were recorded. Hands were held. Fear existed, but it did not rule them. Kane's voice carried across all channels. "We are here. We are not running." The presence stopped. For the first time, it changed behavior. Data flooded sensors. Complex, curious. It was analyzing humanity directly. Humans had done something no other species had ever done. They refused to be erased quietly. Minutes passed. Then hours. The darkness receded. The vanished systems did. Not return, but no new ones were taken. The presence withdrew beyond detection. Silence filled the galaxy. The test was over. No victory celebration followed. Because humans understood the cost. They had not defeated the presence. They had been acknowledged. In the years that followed, the galaxy changed. No species was ranked weak again. No empire expanded without restraint. Defense replaced domination, and humans became something new. Not rulers, not conquerors. Guardians. Commander Kane retired. Quietly, no statues, no grand titles. When asked once why humans stood when others hid, he gave a simple answer. Because someone has to, and far beyond the stars. Something ancient continued to watch, carefully, because the galaxy had finally produced a species that did not seek power, only responsibility. And that made humans the most dangerous force of all.